if you went east to west, the United States, and then back to like Kansas City, that's the Great Wall. So all right, if you built a wall from New York to LA, it's that, and then build another wall, like loop it around and go to Kansas City. That's the size of the wall. So like,
Yeah.
we hit this little section, and then you realize like that these aren't steps; these are like ledges that you're stepping over, because the mountains of China, I don't know how they built it. It's impossible to get all that. How did you build it up there? You're in the mountains and you're taking these huge blocks of stone. It's like the pyramids, man. It's like we still can't figure it out.
Yeah.
And they did it over like 2 millennium. And I mean, those Mongols, Genghis Khan must have been a son of a bitch. You know,
That's what I hear.
if think about it, like if the Chinese government back in BC whatever was like, this guy's really fucking up our shit. What do we do? How about and one guy's like, how about a wall? And they're like, shut up, Gary. We're not gonna build a wall. You know how big China is, Gary. There's no way we're gonna do that. And he's like, my dad will pay for it, and they
He
did.
did. My dad will pay for it.
And so yeah, we were up there. We were enjoying the sunset, and that was our second wonder of the world for you and I. And that was a big one. I feel like that probably is still my favorite, just because of the scale of it.
Yeah.
Like the human accomplishment it took to get it. But my favorite thing by far is every 100 meters or so, there'd be a beer vendor with like cotton candy and peanuts, and he'd be like, "Do you want a beer?" And I'm like, "You're hawking on the Great Wall of China? Give me a beer, hell yeah,
yeah."
Take 100 yen, you son of a bitch. That's awesome.
Good
I
stuff.
really like that. So I was crushing beers on the Great Wall and peeing it off. Circle of life. It was beautiful.
It was, that was a good time. And I do remember being particularly nervous at a few points because we went past where we were allowed to go.
Well, that was the second day.
Oh, that's right, the second day. The first day was pretty cut off. So the second day, jump ahead to the second day, this is where we caught the bus, and we made it out there just fine. We had a couple hours, 2-3 hours to get out there. I think we caught the bus on the way back. But yeah, so we went out there. This was the section where we were going to toboggan down. You remember that?
Yeah.
There's a section where we had a giant slide, but we spent too much time up there in our American flag jackets.
Right, which were a staple
of
our early travels.
We ended up missing like the window to toboggan down. So this was one of the sections that was a little bit more, not quite as maintained, I guess. The other one was definitely more refurbished, or they were
here's the thing.
rebuilding it.
And I'm proud of us for doing this. There was a sign and a gate that said, "This is the end of the wall. Please turn around." We're like, fuck that. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
And we did.
Yeah.
And we went to a section of the wall that nobody goes to these days.
Yeah.
At all. And it wasn't soon after that we noticed that the authorities were following us.
Yeah. Yeah. It got pretty dicey.
Wasn't trying to go to Chinese prison.
No.
But we stayed far, so if you're on the wall, there are towers, old guard towers, about every 1,000 meters or so, I'd say. Yeah. And you can see each one. They're all within viewing distance. Mm-hmm. So when we would get to one, we would look back up the hill and then see like the authorities at the one previous. So if they started coming at us, we would just keep going. And then eventually I think they turned around because we did too, and then headed back. But it was very cool to see one that there was a part of the wall that nobody gets to see.
Yeah.
And when I was reading about it later, the wall is in complete disarray for thousands of miles in rural China if you go away from Beijing. Yep. It's just rubble at this point. But it's so big that it gets better at some points, and it gets worse at some points, and it gets better at some points. And that's fine. They're not going to repair it. There's no more Genghis Khan. The Mongols, who isn't Mongolia anymore, they're fine. They're not invading. Everything's fine. So they leave it that way. But yeah, we got some cool photos, and it was kind of dangerous in the sense that we could have gone to jail, or we could have had a tower collapse on us and nobody would find our amazing corpses. But other than that, I'm glad we took the risk.
Yeah, it was definitely something that paid off. Definitely something I'm glad that we did. Coming back though was a little bit of a drag because we were walking for hours. I think we were probably up there for 2 or 3 hours at least. And again, climbing these stairs and photobombing people. Do you remember the photobomb?
Yeah, it's the best photobomb of all time.
Yeah, the fact that that picture exists out there somewhere,
Somewhere, yeah.
it just makes me beyond happy.
So for anybody listening, a woman was taking a picture of another woman, and she was taking it like looking up the stairs. So the stairs go forever, essentially, if you're in the Great Wall of China. It just fucking keeps going. So Jordan was about 20 feet above her on the stairs, and then I was 40 feet above Jordan. So, and we both had our arms out like this. So I imagine in the photograph, you probably didn't see much distancing between all three of us, and we were in the line of sight for sure. So
Yeah,
congrats to that lady.
we did it a couple times, because they kept taking the photo and we just didn't. We were just relentless and we just kept going and going.
Yeah.
Felt a little bad, but not bad enough to not stop. And finally, at one point, the woman threw her hands up and was like, "No more." I'm like, "Okay." But this was after like three or four attempts at like getting this going. So we made it back down. I passed out. Your brother was supposed to meet up with us.
Yeah, but he didn't think he needed
A visa.
a visa to China, like a fucking moron.
Yep.
And so he was in Korea at the time teaching English, and he's like, no, I'll just pop over. I'm like, sure, dude, you should probably look into this. And he's like, no, it's fine. It's right across the it's right across the sea. And then of course he didn't make it because they're like, you need a visa, dummy.
Which was too bad because I was really looking forward to meeting your brother.
Yes, he's quite the individual.
Yeah, so there will be other times for sure in the future. So we got about 10 minutes left, and
wrap it up.
Which are basically towards the end of the story. At this point, we had moved to a second hostel that was closer, I think, to some. I don't know why we did it, but we bopped around in Beijing, so we did the Great Wall of China, and then the next day, I think was the last day before we flew out. We had separate flight times. I think I flew out I think I left for the airport at like 11 at night, 12 in the morning or something. But we had a pretty chill last day during the day. We topped it off with some incredible cuisine known as the Peking duck. Yeah.
Yeah,
which
our friends at the hostel took us out.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. They did. I forgot. Yeah, they took us out. We had a good meal with everybody. Kind of unfortunate how Peking duck is prepared. It's pretty brutal, right? Pretty.
Oh yeah. Ducks don't get a good if you look at foie gras, I know that.
Yeah.
It's all that kind of goose duck. They don't have a good when it comes to cuisine. They don't have a lot of luck, but
yeah,
it is delicious. You take that crispy skin, you dunk it in the sugar. Ooh.
Oh yeah, it tastes like candy. Duck skin candy. Sounds gross, but it wasn't.
But it was good.
It was really good.
Yeah.
So we had a very elaborate, like full spread, and then remember winding down after that the hostel. We didn't do much at that point. We were so tapped out from being in these. We made sure to do a private room, or you know what I mean. We were out of like the whole. We were through with the community room, so we headed back to the hostel, chilled for a few minutes. That was another small hostel, really small hostel. I think Hunter found it, right?
Yeah, he might have. I'm not sure.
Or something. It was really small hostel. There wasn't a whole lot of people there other than like the 2 or 3 that went out to dinner with us. And I do remember that the woman that was in charge of like seeing us through walked in. She knew our names and kept calling us our names right off the bat, which was kind of nice. It was a little disarming, but super respectful. Hostel's great. Tiny little bar in the back. just a good old night. And then I ended up taking off for the airport. I think probably around 11 or 12 that
Mm-hmm.
night.
And that was China.
That was China. I flew to New York, where another crowded city, for another week to do more work with Blue Man. But
Didn't you stay in Chinatown too?
definitely went down to Chinatown. Yeah,
Uh,
so I was staying with a buddy.
Pretty similar.
Very, very similar. Yeah. But yeah, China was crazy. A lot of people. I didn't realize how exhausted I could get from just being around that many people. It's unlike anything I've ever experienced before. And then going to New York was my first time in New York as well, which that was a trip in itself. Just crazy, crazy amounts of people. So
Yeah,
by
man.
the time I made it back to Chicago, I'm like, sweet, I can breathe for a second. But yeah, it was a good trip. One of the like definitely. You hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just your butt's cut out.
My AirPods died.
Yeah, mine too.
But yeah, it was one of the better trips I think that we had taken. Definitely one of the more like unfamiliar territories. You know, just really, really outside the element. No way to even read a lot of the language. Or like in South America, we could like understand I think a little bit more than we could in China. But when you got signs that don't make sense in English when they're written in English, it makes it really difficult. Some
Again, one of
bad
my favorite
English.
things about my favorite things about Asian culture is bad English. It's my favorite.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. So you have anything anything else to say? Anything else you want to wrap up with?
Can't wait to go back. Try that bat soup out, baby.
I'm right there with you, man. That'll be a trip in itself for sure. We'll document it and then we'll come back and be patients.
I'm looking for that COVID-20.
Perfect. All right. Well, until to the next couple days, I'm sure. But yeah, next Friday we'll hit you guys up with another story. I'm gonna be streaming again live tomorrow for the Renegade Craft Show, the virtual fair, from noon to 2 Central Standard Time. So if you guys want to pop in, I'll probably just be drawing. I might be chatting a little bit here and there, but it's gonna be pretty low key. So appreciate everybody coming out to listen to us jabberjaw. So we'll see you soon.
Peace.
See you, Christian.